Good afternoon, dear participants. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You are audible.
Thank you so much, Gaurav, sir. I hope I am audible. Dear participants, we are joined here today for a very special occasion and a very special program. Today we are on behalf of Galgotias University Innovation Council are here gathered today to discuss on the topic entrepreneurship skill, attitude and behavior development. Dear students, it has been observed amongst the budding entrepreneurs that after some time that they lose hope and they try to move on to something else. Along with that, it has also been observed that people are having talent, they are interested, but somehow they are not motivated, they are unable to develop the attitudes and behavior needed for a person to be an entrepreneur. Today, we are joined here for a small workshop on entrepreneurship skill, attitude and behavior development. I welcome on behalf of the Galgotias University our guest here today, Dr. Himanshu Puri and Mr. Gautam Prakash. Students, I now welcome our first speaker of today, that's Dr. Himanshu Puri. Dr. Puri has a multifaceted career with an experience of over 12 years in EdTech, legal tech and education sector. He is the chief consultant with Grab Guidance and EdTech Venture, which has created first of its Uber for education sector for providing one-to-one on-demand sessions online for doubt solving in academic career and career domain. He is also associated with Legit Quest as a co-founder and CEO, raising $1.2 million in pre-series, a funding round. He has worked with an edtech startup, upgrad.com, in their early team, which is today a unicorn. He has also an experience in working with various universities and B schools, that's business schools. He is a doctorate in the area of management and holds a double master degree in commerce and business administration. Dear sir, we are delighted to have you here and extremely thankful that you are able to spare some time for us. I request you, sir, to kindly address the gathering.
All right. Thank you so much, Mrs. Sharma, for the lovely, introduction. So, as I could, yeah. So and would also, congratulate Galgotia University for holding such an important, sort of session for the, budding entrepreneurs, for the graduates, management graduates, and probably from so many varied disciplines today who are present, which is more than like 500 in number. And it will be amazing, experience for me to share whatever insights, I have been able to collate in the last, 6 to 7 years being present in this whole startup ecosystem. So just to start off, definitely, I'll very much, wanting to focus on the theme of today's workshop, because, when you say entrepreneurship, honestly, I mean, it's not the cakewalk. It's not the easy journey. And when it comes to entrepreneurship, definitely those, attitude that is required, required to be an entrepreneur, the behavioral changes or the behavior that you need to carry to be an entrepreneur or a founder or a co-founder is absolutely important, is like, the main thing. Because like, Mrs. Sharma started with, like, you could see a lot of failures in your life, you could see a lot of, ups and downs, and most importantly, a lot of downs in the whole journey. Only that your passion, your behavior, your attitude and your skill set would save you, would let you be be in the journey and be a successful man later on. So yes, definitely, I have collated couple of most important points that are probably needed for you to be focusing on being an entrepreneur, being a founder, and I'll take you through with them. And you would not be a prize, like whatever skill set, the attitude, factors, and all those behavioral things that I'll be talking about, they are not new to you. Very honestly, they will be like, okay, you have studied in your B schools, you have studied in your curriculum, in your a lot many subjects and all. But what important and the takeaway from this session would be not to focus on what, because what you already know. When I say you need to have a skill set you need to be having a skill set of having a efficient communication, I think you are all aware. You need to be a good communicator to be successful in life, whether you are in a corporate, or, and most importantly, whether you are a founder. So what probably you might already be knowing, my emphasis here on this session would be totally on why and how. So by why and how, it means why it is this skill important for you to be an entrepreneur and a successful entrepreneur, and how you could achieve that, how you could attain that skill set is somewhere that you need to focus on. So yes, you might be knowing, you are most of you are already probably into your graduation, post graduation, or maybe passed out, or some faculty members. So you might not, you might be knowing everything what kind of a skill set we've been talking about, but my focus here would be on why and how of those skill sets, because that is where everybody falls short. We know it, but how to implement it, how to and why it is important. When we understand the why, that this is something important for me to be a founder, then only I would go into the how basically. So that's why my emphasis would be definitely on how and why. So talking about the first skill set that any entrepreneur or founder is required to have is basically a problem solving mindset. Again, we might have studied problem solver and all those things. When you go for an interview, the interviewer definitely wants you to be a problem solver. When you want to enter into a corporate, everybody wanting to have this kind of a problem solving attitude or a skill set. Why this is the most important thing in an entrepreneurship, why it is most important for you to be a founder, you need to have this kind of a skill set, that you have to be a problem solver. There's no other way around. Because when you talk about entrepreneurship, or starting your own venture, today the venture, you must have seen the ecosystem. Today the venture are focused on totally innovative product and services, right? Talking about the examples like Uber, Ola, Zomato, Swiggy, we never thought of these kind of ventures maybe 10 years back. We never thought like somebody like a Zomato will come up and the food delivery will be happening door to door and all those things. We never thought by just click of a button the cab will be arriving at your doorstep. Never. So all the ventures that you see in the startup are innovative. Why they are innovative? Because those are based on a unique solution. Those are definitely coming up with a mindset that it is trying to solve a particular problem, right? Earlier something was not there. Earlier a guy was supposed to call a restaurant, talk to him for 5-10 minutes, discuss the order, and take up a follow-up on the call itself. Very tedious process to order a food, right? But that was a problem. Try and understand, think from a founder's perspective. When Dipinder Goyal came into this, he definitely thought it as a problem, that why a guy is required to call a restaurant 10 times and make sure where he is, where the delivery guy is, and all those things. So that is the problem, and he focused on that problem. And when he focused on that problem, definitely he worked out on possible solutions. And when you work out on possible solutions, you start your venture and you come up with a minimum viable product, which is an MVP, a sort of a solution in the form of a product. So that Zomato app is a product which is trying to solve that problem. You have to understand from that perspective. Here we are talking about that problem, which is again not just being experienced by one guy, and it might be experienced by thousands, lakhs and crores of people outside world, right? So that's where problem solving approach is the most crucial aspect. Like Mrs. Sharma introduced that, I've been associated with, Grab guidance. So I'll tell you, everybody is today aware of, sort of edtech sector also. I'll take you through with one more example. I hope I have shared my screen and you would be able to see it also. So everybody is very much aware of the edtech sector. We are totally flooded with, online courses, recorded courses, lot of big sharks like Byju's and Vedantu solving out the offline tuition to the online tuition. But again, there are certain problems. So like Grab guidance is focusing on a very unique problem. There are like one-fourth, 1 out of 4 people taking the online tuitions. So for Vedantu, 25% of the audience is basically the people who want to take the tuition, but we are focusing on the rest 75%. There are people in the market who have a problem, who can't afford a tuition at all. In the tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities, there is no concept of tuitions. Honestly, people still have doubts, people still have problems. So that's why we created a portal, and where we can connect one-on-one a teacher and a student for solving the doubts on a real-time basis. Very simply, if you see, if I'm a 10th class student and I want to get connected with any maths teacher, I'll select 10th, I'll select maths, and here I go. I get, access to all the teachers which are brilliant, possibly, and if in case I select anyone, definitely I get an option to get connected for like 20 minutes in just cost of 170 rupees. So that's a unique proposition. If you are thinking of getting into a sector which is already, for example, saturated, you have to think innovatively. You have to think like, is it like a problem, which is there in the market and I need to tackle it differently? I mean, something which is already existing in the market can also be your product, can also be your service. But again, then you need to understand how I can do it differently. So problem solving mindset is not a small thing. It's not that, okay, there is a problem. Okay, everybody needs food. Let me come up with a restaurant. I would say that is not a startup, right? That's a business. That's an old school business. I hope you got the difference. So when we talk of startup, it has to be tackled in a very innovative way, very different solution that is actually taking up a problem which is a real problem in the market. So that's one sort of skill which is utmost important, I would say. Another thing, now moving on to the second part, which is the leadership. Again, we have been bombarded with this leadership kind of a gyan in almost every of the session, probably in your every of the textbook, right? But honestly, I'll give you a different school of thought here. Very honestly, I was not a leader. I'll be not shying away from accepting this fact that I was not born as a leader. I was not a leader at all. I have worked in corporates. I have worked with education sector as an employee, right? But possibly there are two things. You can develop that kind of a skill set and an attitude, or you are born with it, possibly, right? If you are born with it, amazing. Then you will have a more inclination towards more risk taking things, like starting your venture and being a founder and and all those things, right? But if in case you still don't feel as of now that I don't have a leadership skills, I don't consider myself as a leader, but you can develop that kind of a skill set. I am seriously telling you, this is basis coming all the experience that I carry. You can really work out on all these skill sets. If the your mindset is not problem solving, get into those new startups, understand how they are tackling it, how they are coming up with the innovative solution, read more about that particular domain, and you can get into that skill set very easily. Obviously it will take some effort. Why I say easily is just because you can do it, right? So similarly, if you don't feel yourself as a leader, don't shy away from this startup ecosystem. If you are wanting to have your own business, wanting to have your own venture, and you are seriously inclined towards making a difference in any sector or anyone's life, go ahead. Forget about those skill sets that you don't carry. You will evaluate your own journey and you will start learning from your own journey, and you will enhance those skill set during that journey itself. So coming on to the leadership, why it is important, again, what to pata hai, leadership hum sabko pata hai, there's no add-on gyan. But talking about why it is needed, I think again most of you must have already understood, because when you talk yourself as a founder, it means you are leading the organization. Although it might be starting with 2 people, 3 people, 5 people, down the line it has to be an organization 100 plus people, maybe 5,000 plus people and all, right? So point is, at the end, when you are the guy from whose mindset that unique solution has come up, you yourself has to lead that. I mean, there can't be a replacement of you, honestly, in the very beginning, right? So if you see, any investment also happens, that investment happens on the basis of the founder only, because you are the only one who came up with this idea, and you are the only one who can really run it through also. It's not that I mean, you just set it up for 2-3 months and now somebody else can take it up. It's very difficult. I mean, it's actually not possible kind of a situation, because if you have nurtured a venture, nobody can run like the way you can do it, right? So similarly, again, coming on to this leadership part, yes, you have to act as a leader. Why? Because obviously you have to lead the organization. It's your brainchild, it's your baby, and at the end you have to develop the whole team and run the team, right? You can't just delegate. And honestly, when you start off with a new venture, uh, I mean, it might be 2-3 people, but the effort that it is needed at the very beginning, at the very early stage, is humongous. So there, even you might not be required to delegate more, but act as a leader more, right? So there, I mean, leadership is very important. I would say, most importantly, down the line, when you scale it up to 100, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. Right now, I'm leading an organization which is now almost 100 plus, right, and funded by the external investor. So it's not easy. And today, after COVID, it is like work from home also. So you are managing a team which is working from all across India, and you have to like take care of their fulfillment of their objectives, their targets, and their work deliverables, everything virtually. So yes, you have to have that kind of a attitude in you. And if in case you don't have it, don't worry at all. You will grab it during the whole journey. I'm seriously telling you, that's nothing to worry about. Moving on to the third most important skill set, again, I think you must be familiar about the communication part. When it comes to running a organization, when it comes to being a professional, working even in a corporate, you need communication skills. Everybody knows that. But how it is the most important thing required for you as a founder is, again, you need to understand. Because when it comes to, again, you being a founder, in the very beginning, I'll take an example here from a startup ecosystem only. Suppose you have an idea, right? And when you have an idea, you have to develop a product around it. Being a founder, you might be expert in one or two area only, right? For instance, you are not a tech guy, you are a business guy, right? And definitely you need a technology team. Suppose you're working on a tech product, which is a website or an application. Then you have to like communicate that product idea to your product team or a technology team. Because at the end, you can't code, you can't create a website, you can't develop an app. You need an app developer, you need a website developer. It has to be a team effort again. But tech guys has to understand what your product idea is. And unless they understand, there will always be a mismatch, what you are thinking of developing as a product and what they are actually building it. So to solve that gap, the communication definitely plays a major role, because you as a founder needs to communicate very crystal clear your product idea and what you are actually looking for in your first product. I want only 1, 2, and 3 features to be there, or only 1 and 2 features to be there. right? You have to like have to be very vocal about your product, have to be very clear about your product, and that clarity has to be given to the product and the technology team. Until and unless that happens, think of a product which is coming totally what you have not thought of. I mean, you wanting to have a product X, but product team and technology team is building a Y. So completely shattered your complete passion will be like, you'll be like sort of demotivated, and and all those things. So communication is very important in the very early stage. Down the line, suppose you hire couple of marketing team also, and obviously you can't do everything. It's all about founder managing everything, right? So if you have a marketing team, again, you need to be very clear what your objective is to get into the market. Either it is a branding, you want to just start off with the branding, you have couple of money, you have some small investment, and you want to start creating a brand of your venture. And most importantly, it is majorly your revenue also at times, because you are bootstrapped. By bootstrap, for the benefit of audience, let me explain. It's the startup which is not funded, and it's being only run by the own money of the founders, or maybe next stage is the friends and family investment before any formal investment come. So when you are a bootstrap organization, honestly, at that point in time, your focus will also be like, to generate revenue early on, because you want to fund your expenses with your own revenues. And in that circumstances, you have to be very clear. Again, the communication has to be very clear to your marketing team, what exactly you want from those marketing campaigns. If I'm running a paid campaign, yes, I want to run a paid campaign with this of a CTA, call to action, that people should book a sort of session with me, book a slot with me, book a service with me, whatever it is, as per your venture. So you need to be, again, as a communicator, very clear in communicating is obviously verbal, so definitely the verbal communication I have been talking about. But again, if you talk about other verticals of the communication, like writing skills, those are also very important. I'll tell you, you must have seen like a lot of business plan competition happens, or uh, I'm pretty sure most of you must be knowing about the pitch deck. So pitch deck is like, a formal PPT, a document that you share it with the investor for raising funds. So all those things are to be written upon. Like pitch deck, you need to have a pitch deck being created with a lot of things that you want to convey it through words to your investors, prospective investors, to raise fund. Most importantly, you have to, probably are talking about a website to be created, some content goes on the website, and you might not have a bandwidth of hiring a content guy separately, because you have just started with a small amount of money, say 4 or 5 lakhs. You can't just have a team of content writer for writing content, or you might outsource also. But honestly, when I launched my first website, I wrote the whole content myself. So if I wouldn't have that basic writing skill, I would have failed in at least putting my website live on the platform, right? So think of those small things. While creating that pitch deck, you need to have a clear communication of your venture idea to the investor in a PPT, right? Business plan, I have been talking about those business plan competition, you heard it. So business plan is needed to be jotted down on the paper. Today it's like Microsoft Word, so it has to be like jotted down for the clarity of the first few members. Because when the business plan is there, as a founder, you communicate that business plan among your team only. So those writing skills are very much important at these places for a founder's very initial start. And again, one more point, when it comes to communication, you always talk of listening skills also. Everybody have heard. And why it is needed, why, I'll tell you. When you start your venture, when you have a venture idea, it's very important for you to share that idea with maybe 100 of people. I'll suggest you to talk about that idea, if you carry that one, to 100 of your network people and listen to them. Because as a founder, we get biased. Honestly, we get biased, and we only look at our thought process. We become very biased. Okay, I have thought this will be the next revolutionary idea. That is the mindset. Every founder has it in a very initial stages, but that is also wrong. Why? Because if you talk about that idea, you might get a response out of, say 7 out of 10 people saying this is rubbish. You might get that response. I don't know. I'm just talking about a hypothetical situation, but it might happen. 7 out of 10 people say it is rubbish. What are you talking about? Yeah. Right. So again, when you become a listener, you talk about your venture and listen about your venture idea from other people. What is their response on it? You get the reality check. It might not be, again, talking about the situation which might not be that extreme where you get a response like rubbish idea and all, but still out of 10, 9 might say, okay, yeah, that sounds good, but one would be a smart guy who would provide you with another dimension maybe, which can actually change and change your idea to a better idea. I'll tell you an example of grab guidance only. So when I was sort of brainstorming on this idea in early 2020, so I spoke to one of the digital guy. He was a digital transformation expert. Right now he's in Canada, very experienced guy. And when I was talking to him, he gave me an altogether different idea, because I was totally working on one thought process, working on a career guidance aspect. But he told me, like, the career guidance is probably, has a very short lifespan. By lifespan, I mean, probably, career guidance might be needed in 4 times in anyone's life, maybe at 10th, 12th, or graduation or post graduation, for instance, or the early stage of joining any corporate. But academic is totally vast. When you talk of the quantum of business that can come on the academic side is huge. So he gave me that new dimension. So when I spoke to him, obviously, I was not completely inflexible. I was flexible enough to listen to him. I was a good listener, and that is how it impacted my whole venture idea. And I pivoted at very early stage. Okay, let me not just work on this, let me just add on this also, because this makes a lot of sense, right? So similarly, being a listener is why it is important. You have understood, and how it can really impact your idea, your journey in the very early stages of you being a founder, has a lot of impact. So another thing is, I'll give you one more example. Suppose you are pitching. So by pitching, I mean, again, you are probably sitting in front of investors and trying to raise, say, 1 million US dollars. So again, you can't be present yourself as a founder who just speaks, because the people who are sitting in front of you are the people who have already passed on that stage, who are already smart enough to understand your sector, your business idea. And at that point in time, if they give you any feedback, maybe if you are pitching for the first time, you're meeting any investor for the first time, if they give you a feedback, you have to take it as a good listener and work on it. Obviously, that's the later part. But having said that, because you can't have a debate there, because I have thought this is how it's going to be, it's my product. You can't be like that. You have to act as, because they come up with a very, very rigorous experience. They know it. Most of them, they are from that background possibly, and they know it better than you. And that is how, if they give you any feedback, that's again very critical, because any investment round doesn't get closed in the very first pitch. You might be required to like pitch into hundreds of investors maybe, and then you get to a stage where you are funded. So it's not easy journey again. So being a good listener is again very important. So communication was the third part. So just to summarize, I have spoken about problem solving mindset and how you can come up with a innovative solution on that. Is somewhere you have to figure it out if you are thinking of a venture, getting into a startup. Second, we discussed about just a second. Second, we discussed about leadership. Yes, that's another most critical factor. And the third one, we talked about the communication. Although they sound very simple terms, problem solving, but you understood the context into this startup ecosystem, the context for a founder when he's having his new venture being created, and why it is important, how you have to like actually go through with it, so that you are doing the right stuff at the right time for your startup. Right, coming on to the fourth part. Uh, Fourth one, I'll talk about uh, another most important, which is perseverance. I think this might be a new terminology for a lot of people, but just to drill it down and keep it simple. So perseverance is basically you are sort of persistent. Persistent, again, very much sounding like term with consistent. So consistent means you are stable all the time, but persistent means you are onto that always. You are very determined onto what you want to do. So perseverance comes from there, that you are very determined and persistent to what you really want to do. And that is the most important, again, skill set, one of the most important skill set you need as a founder. Because if you are not persistent, if you are not determined, if you are not sticking to what you want to, I think then entrepreneurship is not a cup of your tea. Because if you are thinking that, okay, in today's world, by looking at these Byju's, Vedantu, Ola, Uber, Zomato, you think that it is the most easiest thing. You can just start off and you can next year raise a fund and all those things. So I think I'll break your myth here. It's not that easy. You have to be like persistent, very much determined to be on your track, and keep on changing your track also whenever it is needed, and run it through long years to reach at that stage. Today we know Zomato just because it's been like more than 10-12 years now, 10 years, maybe more than 10 years, right? We know all these big names because they started very early on, right? So it's not that when we know that this company has come up, there is no hardship that their founders have done it. They have their own journey. I think I've been taking the example of Zomato. I'm pretty sure that very few of you, or maybe none of you, would be knowing that Zomato was not Zomato. It was foodiebay.com. I think now most of you must be knowing it, because it was, I mean, you could just read it on the Google also. So Zomato was earlier Foodie Bay. I mean, they have their own hardships and journey. Dipinder Goyal, Pankaj Chadda, 4-5 years back left the company also as a CEO, right? Only one founder is there right now, which is Dipinder Goyal, who's one of the richest angel now, after they went for an IPO. But you have to understand, because they started with a small office in Shapurjet in Delhi, right? One, room sort of office, and from there it got started. They must have pulled in their money. They figured out a problem, and I'll tell you what problem they figured out. Because they were like bachelors, and they used to work in one of the company in Gurgaon, consulting firm, Bain and Company. And they were friends, and obviously they were bachelors, and they used to order food a lot. And then when it came to themselves as a problem, okay, they have been struggling calling, ordering. So they found out as a solution to create a microsite which has all the brochures of the nearby restaurants. That is how they started. They just scanned all the brochures, that printouts, those used to come in the newspaper and all, and created a micro website, because one of them was a tech guy, right? And that is how they got a good response from their colleagues. They did it for their friends in the office, which was a big company. So they got a good response, and that is how they started with a food directory company. It wasn't a food delivery, it was a food directory, and it was a foodiebay.com. Then when they got funding and all, so they rebranded, and obviously Zomato, rhyming it with tomato, came as a brand for them. But yeah, and just one more example here. uh, I think I'll take the example of Snapdeal, because I am on to the point, which is perseverance. Kunal is the founder, I mean, of Snapdeal, right? So Snapdeal was not a marketplace e-commerce platform. I mean, if you read out, Snapdeal started with a online, sorry, not the online, even offline coupon book printing company. There used to be coupons 10 years back of, say, Nike 15% off, some other brand 10% off. So they used to collate, deal with the merchants, collate those coupons and print those books. And those were the coupons which they used to sell for like 500, 1,000 rupees per copy, having 50 coupons. right? Then they figured out that this is a biggest problem, that carrying a coupon book is the most difficult thing. Nobody does it. So they jumped on to creating the SMS coupon. So you must be remembering there used to be SMS coupon, 15% off on so and so brand, because SMS is still convenient because it is virtual and can be easily carried out, on a mobile and shown to the merchant for a discount and all. Then that also failed. They did not get a good response. Then they moved on to cards, coupon cards, like a credit card. They used to have a discount cards, and that discount card was the third pivot. So pivot, by pivot, let me just, for the benefit of audience again, and this tell you the this meaning of the pivot. Pivot means changing your track, in a very layman's term, changing your business idea, tweaking your business idea, because the earlier stuff was not working. So that's why you tweak your business idea, is what is known as pivoting in a startup ecosystem. So when the coupon books did not work because they were bulky, nobody used to carry them, they jumped on to SMS coupon, but then they find SMS coupon is again sort of not working out for them, because as per their estimate and expectation, they used to give it for free in the beginning. When they started monetizing, nobody was paying for it, and then they thought of discount cards. So during that time when they launched discount card, corporates were the most critical TG, target group for them, and I mean they got a little success there on the discount cards. So third pivot actually made them a little bit successful there, and then they got a funding of 2 million from Clary, on the basis of not those discount copies, the hard copies of the coupons, not just with the SMS. It was basis the discount cards, which they used to sell it to the corporates, because corporates may employees ko discounts milte the and all those things. So then they got the first funding after such a rigorous kind of a pivoting. They did it, and they've been working in Kunal was working in US, and he shifted India and all those things with, and the journey was not simple. So they were very persistent. Okay, we have started something, we saw this opportunity in US, let's stick to it. It may be requiring certain tweaks basis the Indian audience, because the idea they thought was actually a US idea, because he was working in US. So he came with this idea from US, but any idea working in US will not most probably work in India, because India is a very different market. And that is how it took him couple of pivots to actually get a bit of a success. And if he wouldn't have been persistent, and he wouldn't have this skill of having a perseverance in his attitude, he wouldn't have created Snapdeal. Now, I mean, again, you will say, okay, I've been talking about discount cards, but again, they, after even successful, they were visionaries. Honestly, again, visionaries, one another quality that is being needed. So when they were visionary, obviously they thought, okay, I mean, this is fine, this is working, but what next? I mean, we need to keep on jumping onto the larger space. So they then created Snapdeal as a brand, and Snapdeal still was not a marketplace. It was a online discount coupon website, like Groupon and all those things which still exist today. Snapdeal was also an online coupon company. So they used to have a website now, snapdeal.com, but they used to not sell the products. They used to sell the coupons, discount coupons. You subscribe and you get 100 coupons of various brands and all those things. But again, that was not sufficient enough. They got the business online and all those things, from offline to SMS to discount cards to online. And then once they went to China, Kunal and Rohit, they were the founders, and they saw Alibaba. And from there they got, okay, I'm just giving a 15% discount on Nike. Why can't I have a Nike product on my website itself? Why I'm selling, Nike ka coupon? Why not just the Nike? So then from there, he saw the growth of Alibaba, and then he got into the marketplace, which is the biggest success ever, which we know, along with Flipkart, Amazon being another big players, and Snapdeal is the another one. So that is how, I mean, with their journey, I just wanted to tell you that if you are not persistent, you don't have that perseverance in your, attitude, I think don't go ahead with your, venture idea, because it will be a hard journey. Things, I mean, it would be fabulous if it works out on the very first go. But I mean, I'll tell you very honestly, nothing is perfect in the first go. Even I would have thought of something to be perfect. It might not turned out to be that ways, right? I have, even we are changing a lot of things. Our marketing strategy gets changed every day. We have to test it out. We call it as A/B testing. ये भी आपने कई लोगों ने सुना होगा. So you test it out. एक मैसेज डाला मार्केटिंग का और दूसरा भी डाला, देखा कौन सा बेटर काम कर रहा है. दैट इज व्हाट A/B टेस्टिंग इज. और जो काम कर रहा है वो करो. If you are planning to work on 3 products, 3 features, 3 products within that, okay, एक काम नहीं करेगा, 2 करेगा, whatever it is. So you test it out, right? So, but it won't be 100% on the first go. You might be required to change things. You might be required to change track. And at the end, if it works out till the time you get a success, it's very, very hard journey till that point. Right. So that's why perseverance is something that you might not be aware of. But yeah, it is very much important. I think it must be clear by now. Moving on to another part. ये भी आप लोगों ने बहुत सुना होगा, possibly. सब लोग कहते हैं, as a generic skill also, you should be, managing your time. You should be prioritizing your things, right? Now, again, it's a generic stuff, but how and why it is so important in entrepreneurship, I'll tell you right now. See, when it comes to a bootstrap, again, coming on to a startup, maybe you take your money from father, friends, family, or you have your couple of savings. You start with a small amount, and you always have to be like cost optimized. I mean, you can't just have a big expenses being done on the very first day, and even for first 1 year, maybe for that matter, right? So during that time, obviously you are very cost conscious. Means yaar, jo bhi kharchna hai, kadam fook fook ke kharchna hai, right? Because that's what it is needed. And there comes the importance of prioritizing, right? So I'm focusing on prioritizing first. Suppose you have a venture idea. We also had a idea that we want to get into the K-12, but getting into the K-12 is a huge market. So we restricted ourselves. Okay, let's take small steps. Let's prioritize. Let's just start with 8th to 12th. Or maybe, if we are targeting the postgraduate market, which is MBA and PGDM market, we'll be just focusing on the management and commerce courses, not maybe, for instance, medical and engineering for that matter. So you have to like prioritize what to do. And if in case you have a product idea in mind, you might be thinking, okay, ye product mein main na ye 5 cheezein dalunga. I mean, if these 5 things are there, I think I'll break the market. I'll just take my venture to a next level. But you might not have those bandwidth. You might not have that bandwidth to spend on creating those 5 features. Or I was not having that bandwidth to even possibly spend for such a huge market, because when it comes to K-12, it's a huge market. You need 3-4 times the marketing spends that you possibly can reduce it down by just focusing on a niche. So obviously you would see a lot of startups have started coming in the niche category. Just to take an example, today we have like White Hat Junior or kind of a venture who's now focusing on teaching you giving you music classes. But now I was reading about a venture who's just who has just launched and raised a fund, who's only into teaching you guitar, right? So that's there as a venture which is funded also. But other startups who are big, they are focusing on a lot of yoga classes, maybe guitar classes, maybe piano classes, and all those things. But think of a venture that has also started in a very niche category, only guitar classes, and that's there. I'm giving you a factual information. So, and that's a funded startup, right? So that's also have started happening. Why? Because everybody knows if I'm going full on, I would end up spending a bomb. It means I have to have a huge money to spend for marketing, for product development, for creating the team also on HR and everything. That is possibly not possible. That might not be possible in the very beginning for you. So you have to be very, very focused toward prioritizing. what you need to do as a founder. You might want to create a Mercedes, but start with a Maruti, you know. I must have used the word minimum viable product, by just again for the benefit of audience. Minimum viable product is basically a product with which you hit the market, a very basic kind of a product, satisfying and solving the basic need that you have foresee, to solve out for your target group, right? So that's why I'm comparing a Mercedes with a Maruti. So if you are thinking of creating, talking about your product as a Mercedes, don't jump on to creating that on the very first day, right? Prioritize. Start with giving a basic feature. What is the basic feature of a car? Moving a commuter from point A to point B. Maruti also does it, Mercedes also does it. So I can't spend to create a Mercedes, right? अभी वो मेरी brand भी नहीं बनी है, मेरा उस level का product भी नहीं बनेगा, because I am very small, and I have to fight with a lot of big competitors, right? And every sector is crowded, that. तुम health tech बोलो, ed tech बोलो, food tech bolo. I mean, every sector has so many startups, so that's the reality. They have so many startups, so you will have a competition coming in. If your idea is innovative, fair enough, you will still have an indirect competition. So that's what direct and indirect competition is, right? So point being, don't just jump on to creating everything. You have to prioritize. You have to prioritize and come up with a product or a service that satisfies the target group ka basic need, right? And that's why product development में, marketing में, सब में prioritize करना पड़ेगा कि कहाँ पे. अगर product develop भी कर लिया and you have again 3 products maybe in the very beginning with the very one small features as an MVP, 3 में से मैं पहले किसको market करूँ? Prioritize, because you might not have a funds to market all the things, right? कहाँ पे करूँ? Which platform? Should I do a paid marketing on Google, Facebook, or should I do a marketing to a B2B segment, B2C segment? Lot many decisions will come on to you. Lot many. Product alag, marketing alag, team hiring alag. Prioritize. The only solution is prioritize. कहने के लिए आसान है, but जब करने पे आएगी, mind my words, guys, this is the most difficult thing. You have to act smart. You have to be taking those decisions so quickly. Churning out your decisions so quickly. इसी पे एक और philosophy, let me just detour a bit and I'll tell you one more philosophy. I was reading one of the article from one of the co-founder, and he was emphasizing on the aspect hire fast, fire fast. So I think again you must have understood, very self-explanatory statement. Hire fast, fire fast. It means the founder today doesn't want to spend too much on thinking. They want to take a quick decision. They want to prioritize other things, because product development or possibly marketing is the most critical part. They don't want to spend much on hiring. Okay, CV is there, this guy sounds fine, hire him. If he finds to be good in just one interview, hire him. But yes, if he's not productive in the next month, fire him. Simple. So founder doesn't spend time. If you are planning to even do a job in a startup, be very clear. You have to be productive on the very first day. You can't get the training for 3 months, like what happens in Wipro, TCS, and all those, companies which are very stable. When you talk of startup, you have to deliver from the very first day, whether you're working there or you yourself a team member or founding team member or an early team member of that startup. Very important, right? So that's another part which I wanted to detour and talk about. But yeah, coming on to the skills that we've been focusing on. So yes, priority and time management. Yes, obviously, you as a founder in the very beginning, obviously, you have to look into everything. Everything means तुम्हें product पे भी focus करना है कि tech team product बना रही है, ठीक से बना रही है, नहीं बना रही है. Marketing team ठीक से marketing कर रही है, नहीं कर रही है. Operations team, okay, service delivery हो रही है, नहीं हो रही है. So again, time management is very simple. Again, you have to focus on each and every aspect of your business. You can't just leave one aspect. Honestly, customer side pe hai, so that becomes most critical, because somebody is talking to your customer. You need to be on the complete top of the chart as to what is happening there, right? product develop ho raha hai nahi ho raha, if there is a delay, it completely hampers your planning, budgeting, everything. Cost side pe, if you have a, going forward, you have a CA maybe, who's advising you on the finance side, you have to be very, give time there also ki meri kitni cost ja rahi hai nahi ja rahi hai, because if you have planned like 1 lakh rupees as a cost, and if it goes to like 120, you are shattered. Think that ways, you are not funded, right? So every place, प्रोडक्ट में ये बनना था, 1 महीने का डिले है, shattered. ये हायर करना था, बंदा नहीं मिल पा रहा, मार्केट में नहीं जा पा रहे, खत्म. So every small aspect you have to take care of in the very beginning. You will not have the advantage of such experienced guys because you can't afford them possibly. So I'm actually talking about from a very nascent stage, early stage startup. So if you have certain funds, maybe from friends and family, you can still afford a a sort of guy who can be your co-founder or can be an early team member, taking care of a lot of important stuff, right? So that's a different scenario, right? So time management, definitely yes, most important part. Another 2-3 things I want to focus on is one, again, networking. The most important, again, from startup perspective, networking. I mean, you might not have given much emphasis on this aspect because, or you couldn't even give in the last 2 years because you are like, not going to your campuses or not going to your, offices, and you're not, socializing with the other people. But honestly, networking is the core for a founder. By core, I mean to say, because, when somebody starts, so I gave you example, when I was into the brainstorming stage, I needed some people to talk to them for sharing my idea, right? And with whom am I gonna do that? Obviously, I'm gonna do that with my network people, and my network people who are possibly smart enough, who are from that domain, or who can, so I spoke to like 10 other co-founders. I spoke to like, couple of my investor friends, who are into that, investing, ecosystem. And, I spoke to a couple of people and got into talking to real TG that we were catering to, right? So you have to have that network who can actually help you, give you the valuable feedback. So networking helps there. When you are sort of brainstorming on your idea, they will give you the feedback. And then, we actually did a product survey. So when I was doing a product survey, you could understand I need people to give me the feedback on the product, on the early time, right? Again, network comes into the picture. Another most important thing, suppose, you are a founder and you feel that, I'm possibly not good in particular area. I might be needing a co-founder, right? And co-founder, getting a co-founder is not a usual hiring. I hope everybody understands that. It's not that a kind of a thing which you put it on a naukri.com or indeed.com and you can hire a co-founder, right? Getting a co-founder is a very different game altogether. What happens is, because when you are talking about person sharing your responsibility and taking a high level of risk as what you're taking, getting that guy, you could imagine, is not simple, right? Because everybody is not open to take that kind of a high risk, right? Everybody is not open to contribute possibly capital wise also into your brainchild idea. Maybe, if you're talking about a co-founder, you would want an experienced guy like yours. Suppose I today want someone, I would not want a 1 or 2 year experience guy. Obviously, I would want an experienced guy. And to get that experienced guy, I mean, obviously his salary package, he might be working in a corporate or some another venture. His monetary expectation, you would not be able to match. And you could only get, so you would have a first thought of having a co-founder as your friend, right? Because he or she is at a same stage, right? But again, you have to like, share that vision that you carry for that venture idea and convince him. And he should be like on the same page as what you are. And that's very difficult and very rare, but it happens. People do that. You must have seen a lot of, co-founders are friends, right? Because they are at the same stage, and during their, campuses, conversations, they talk about this and doing some changes in the, sector and all those things, and that happens, right? So but yes, having an experienced guy might be very difficult, right? And there again, a lot of tools comes into picture, but yeah, we will not talk about that, ESOPs and equity sharing and all those things. But yeah, so we'll stick to the agenda. But yeah, again, coming on to the core part, yes, very much important. Networking will really help you get a co-founder also. I hope you understood that point, right? Networking will help you get the first customer also. We got our first customer from a known guy only. So as simple as that. So when you have a new company with a new product, it is very difficult to create a brand. Obviously, you can't create a brand in just first couple of years. It takes a lot of time, right? So to whom to sell? You will start, obviously you'll start selling to your nearby people, the network people that you call it as, right? Even if you get hired in an insurance sector, the insurance guys will tell you to sell it to your relatives first, the insurance product. So similarly happens here. They leverage on, everybody leverages on the network. For your own startup, you have to do that. You'll approach the guys in your network who are your possible sort of customers to whom you can really sell. So we got our first customer, with who we were already knowing, right? And who, because they will be the one who will show the trust in the beginning. Otherwise it's very difficult to build that trust also. Brand is all about trust, right? I today blindly buy HUL product or some branded product just because I have a trust on that brand. Okay, the quality gonna be good. But again, that's not gonna happen for a startup. It takes a lot of time, like any other corporate, it takes a lot of time to create a brand. So only thing that will help you to sell in the beginning, to get your first customer, is the trust factor. And that trust guy, the guy who gonna do the trust on you will always be in your network, possibly a closed network or first degree network, second degree network. That also happens, because if I find a guy who's in a need of a thing which I sell, and he's a second degree guy and he's still getting getting to know me from that mediator, still it works out. So you have to leverage all your network, all your people whom and even ask them to spread across in their network, right? That works, because that's gonna really help you get so many things, like your first customer, co-founders, your early hires, everything. And doing product survey, product brainstorming, venture brainstorming, everything. So network is the, again, core for a founder, like I started with. That will be really, really impactful. Another thing that I want to talk about, two more small things. One is the negotiation part. Again, I in one of the point I was telling you that being a bootstrapped organization, you have to be like very cost conscious, right? So obviously you have to save every penny that you really can, so because it's your hard earned money, or your friends and families, or your father's money, possibly, when you are starting off. So you have to be like a hard negotiator. There's no other alternative, I would say. If you are still don't have those kind of हमने HR में पढ़ा है negotiator skill, फलाना skill, but जब बैठोगे, when you have like say this much of amount in your pocket and you really need something in front of you, and you don't have that amount, you will yourself negotiate badly, because if you are so passionate about your venture, you gonna negotiate. There's no other alternative. I'll tell you an example here. So I was actually hiring a guy, and it was a mid-level mid-level hiring. It wasn't a senior hiring. So somewhere I figured out a person, and her expectation was around 60,000 a month and all those things. But I after interacting and all those things, I was so damn satisfied that if she comes into my team, so it can be a really beneficial outcome for my organization, for my startup. I was so damn sort of, you would say, determined and sort of satisfied with that candidate, that I really wanted. But we were bootstrapped. We were bootstrapped, and we had a friends and family round basically at that point in time. So yeah, I had money, but the budget we said, okay, we can't get a guy more than 40 a month. My pocket doesn't allow. And I was not a negotiator. Again, I didn't had lot many skills which I've spoke today, but today I say I have got a lot. I have enhanced those, I have worked on those skills, and I have really got onto a stage where I can say today, if you want to negotiate with me, you'll find I'm a hard negotiator. I'm sort of a leader and all those things. But yeah, I did not had that kind of a skill early on, and you learn it through your journey, right? But I just, in today's session, I'm just focusing on these skill sets so that you start working from today itself. Why to waste time? I mean, if you wasted 2 years to learn, I mean, you could just save it maybe by being a little proactive on that, maybe, for that matter. Yeah. So coming on to the point that I was making, the example I was taking. So yes, so I was very determined and very wanting to hire that candidate, but my budget did not allow. My budget was like 40,000 a month I can hire. But at the end, it was, couple of meetings and rounds it was required to sell our vision to her. We really sold our vision. After like 3 years, this gonna be this venture at this stage. And then when the revenue comes in, obviously, everybody earns the benefit out of it. And it is the fact. Obviously, if you are, getting a guy at a lesser salary, you are obliged to actually, fill that gap later on, right? And you do that by, working together and taking your venture to the next level. Anyhow, so yes, we had a couple of rounds of discussion, and, I got her into my team, and, and she today is still there in my team, and she proved to be a amazing, candidate and amazing employee for our organization. And that decision just came in through, and that really happened because I negotiated hard at that point in time, and I'm convinced her, okay, if you're losing something right now, this gonna come with a huge return when we are raising a series A round, right? You'll get a straight away double your salary, for instance. And we did that, honestly. Well, when we got an early hire at a very lesser, salary, and when we raised a round, we straight away doubled and tripled everyone's salary, because they worked it hard along with us. Being a founder, it doesn't mean that you get all the benefits, right? You have to like distribute your benefit among your team member who have worked along with you, right? And that is how, in the beginning, being a hard negotiator has to be there as a skill. You have to do it whether you you yourself believe that you're a negotiator or not, but you have to act like that. You have to crack a deal, right? Even if you are going and selling it out, you have to give it your 100%, sell it at the price that makes sense for you, and all those things. So that's how I say, at these couple of stages, selling to your TG, hiring, these negotiation plays a lot of important role. And again, obviously, negotiation happens with your vendors also. So yes, you want to save your cost. All the vendors, I mean, somebody's probably doing marketing for you, or taking care of your website or product or technology. If they are the vendors, you have to get them at the lowest cost possible. You have to get them. There's no other way around. So that's why, that's again one of the most important. And last but not the least, again, you being flexible is something which would be required, because whatever examples I took in the last one hour or so, I mean, it must be reflecting on, like, changing every day. You might be required to change things every day also. I talked about pivoting. I mean, you might have to change the whole track of the business. I talked about the marketing strategies. You might have to, like, change your marketing strategy every day. If this one product campaign is not working on Facebook, okay, shut it down, run it on Google. Not working, learn it on LinkedIn. Not working, do a outbound sales calls, maybe, whatever it is, right? So point is, if you're not flexible, and if you're like, focused towards doing it and getting it success by anyhow on a particular thing, that might waste a lot of energy, money, efforts, right? If I'm like mad about running this strategy, marketing strategy for this product, for 2 months, that is not sensible. And if it is not working after say 5 days, if I'm monitoring that campaign, that marketing strategy for my particular product, if it is not working out well, I mean, let me just give it up. Let me just try it out something else. Because trial and errors in, changing your strategies path now and then makes a lot of sense for any founder. You can't just stick to one strategy and just try to prove it that it was right. If you are of that minded, you will waste a lot of money. And at the end, what happens is obviously you get demotivated, you get demoralized, and you just start, shutting it down things, and you become a sort of an example of a startup failure, right? Because at the end, what happens is, again, 95% of the startups gets failed, all because of these reasons. Money is a very short reason. I'm telling you, money is a very small reason for a startup failure. You can make it your way through the revenue very easily. Funding is not somewhere any founder should look at. The first funding should come from your customer. By customer, I mean the first money should come from the revenue you make. Today, I'll again give you just a detour here to emphasize on this point. We have startups like Byju's who have raised billions of dollars. We do have a startup like Great Learning, which got obviously acquired now. But Great Learning is also into the edtech, and it was bootstrapped and heavily profit-making organization till it got acquired. It never raised the fund, right? And there are many such startups who never raise the funds, and they focus on being the profitable organization and organically grow. Funding is basically an inorganic growth, right? So point being here is, like, obviously examples are there, but okay. So yes, you should not be, focusing on, this funding aspect more. Just focus on the other aspects. Be flexible in the sense, okay, fine. So I have to, like, pivot. I have to change my strategies now and then, and go by that logic, right? So yeah, so I think today I have covered a lot of skill sets, attitude that are required. I can probably, if the things allow, I can be open for any questions. I'll just summarize before the questions that we talked about leadership, we talked about communication, we talked about perseverance, we talked about problem solving mindset, being flexible, being a hard negotiator, managing time, and prioritizing. So I think these were the terms sounding pretty easy, but yeah, how you gonna have it for your startup journey as a founder, and why it is needed is somewhere I wanted to focus on, and I think I did that. But any queries from anyone's side, I would be happy to possibly take it up.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very encouraging session that we had with you. And I hope that our young entrepreneurs who have joined us here today are enthusiastically part of it, will get, excited, and at least they'll put in some effort from their side. Sir, we have got certain questions for you. If permitted, can I ask?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sir, we have a student named as Harshal Agrawal. He is, I guess, he's into aviation industry. He's asking that how can I become an entrepreneur in aviation industry, as I want to build my own airline brand.
Oh my God, that's great. So you, like I said, I could see the, a visionary attitude coming from this guy. So I'm pretty impressed. See, definitely, you can, you work on to the sector which is close to your heart or where your capability lies. So I work for a sector because I'm probably knowing about that sector pretty well, right? So if you have the mindset and you have that knowledge about the aviation sector, that's great. That's the first thing that you need to take always into the consideration. So if I'm the expert of edtech sector, yes, education sector is somewhere close to my heart. I know that sector. I can really get into the deeper. Now, coming on to your question, aviation you have selected. Now you have to understand starting a new airline is a somewhere you have mentioned that, okay, I want to do that. So you have your product and services are there. But what I will suggest here, very strongly, I will suggest here that, first of all, you need to again understand the core problems that are being faced by a commuter who's using the airline services. I mean, why you are just concluding that I want to start an airline? फिर तो ठीक है, खोल दो, कोई भी खोल दो फिर तो. I mean, if you have the huge money with you, because that's a most capital intensive business of running an airline. But yeah, point is, just take a pause. Maybe you know the sector, think it through. What else can you do? What are the real problems? Because I started with the problem solving mindset. Don't just jump onto the solution. If you are jumping onto the solution, that's not the correct approach. Understand what a commuter of airline services faces with a lot of problems. There can be a lot of things, luggage problems you might be solving on the airport. Think that way. I'm right now just talking aloud, but think that way. Some other problem that a commuter of airline services faces, you have to dig deeper, because you have the knowledge of that sector, and then come up to a possible solution, right? So I'll just again show you one more aspect. I'll just show you again. When I run, we have also live courses. So when I run this course, so the first thing that I always focus on is origination of startup idea. So if you see, I mean, first session is definitely talking about introduction, but every entrepreneurship starts with an idea. There are two possible things. One, the idea might be coming on from a personal pain point. Another, the idea might be coming on from a rigorous, demand supply gap or a rigorous market evaluation. I'll give you an example here. So I took an example of, say, Dipinder Goyal, Pankaj Chadha, Bain Company, right? It was their personal pain point. Bhavish Agarwal, Ola, he wanted to book a weekend trip. So he launched Ola Trip. It wasn't an Ola cab. It was Ola Trips. And when he saw that the market is small for Ola Trips, because trip happens once in a month maximum, or maybe twice a year, honestly. So he pivoted to a urban commuter company through Ola cabs, right? So it comes from your personal pain points, or it might be coming from your evaluation and rigorous analysis of the sector. So another example, Free Charge. I think I forgot the name of the founder, Bipin Preet. Yeah, I think it is Bipin Preet. So he didn't want to do any corporate job. He was IIT pass out and all those things. But again, he was not facing any problem per se, but he was totally focused toward analyzing a particular sector. And he read, okay, so how does a guy during those days used to recharge a mobile phone? Then he saw the solution. A guy goes to a customer goes to a market, he buys a small coupon, 16 digit, he scratches through, calls up, puts in 16 number, and that's it. And then he launched the Free Charge, because that was the problem, and he made it very convenient solution for that. Why anyone is required to just get a card offline through a market? So think that ways. There are a lot of opportunities in each and every sector. By these examples, I just wanted to tell you again, re-emphasize on my point. Just focus on what problems your prospective target group faces. Analyze those problems, and how you can really solve it out is the solution. I can't give you a answer right now. A kar lo, B kar lo. That's not a right approach. You have to get into the sector rigorously. I hope I answered it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
I hope Harshal, your query has been answered. Good. So we have another question from Mr. Amit Srivastava. He is asking that how is an educational startup is different from others, like how is your educational startup basically different from others like Urban Pro, Cambly or Do Academy, and how is entering the marketplace as a luxury brand possible in today's cost competition market?
Correct. Okay, so that's targeted to the venture only. So the problem, okay, again coming on to the basics of entrepreneurship. So guys, I've been always be talking about the problem. So right now the problem is basically, the market is flooded with courses, the recorded courses. You have Upgrad, you have Simply Learn, you have Udemy, Udacity, everybody is focusing on recorded courses, or maybe, a subscription kind of a model wherein you pay to Byju's, Vedantu's and an academy for a particular, month and all those things, right? But now, like I think I started with, we are a on-demand educational services, like a Uber, right? Suppose you are an MBA guy, right? You are an MBA guy and you have a Deloitte interview day after tomorrow, right? And you come up here and put in MBA and you have a Deloitte interview. So you select interview preparation and press on search. So you get 50 plus guys who can really help you on an on-demand basis for preparing you for a Deloitte interview, right? So we have all these guys, right? So suppose Amit, okay, he's a 25-year experienced guy in the area of marketing. Suppose it's a marketing interview, for example, although I took a Deloitte's example, maybe it's a HUL interview, right? And if you get connected at 491 for 20 minutes, also say Saturday he's available, you just pick and choose and book a slot with him, right? And why it is different? Because it is solving 3 of your problems. One, it is helping you find the right guy for you. It is helping you actually book a slot with this guy very conveniently on a click of a button. And third, the online session also happens here only on our inbuilt platform, like this. We have a lot of videos where the sessions happen like this, right? So we are solving all the 3 problems. So I'm Kishore sharing the screen. So this is one-on-one session that happens, honestly, right? So we are solving all the 3. It's like we have created a Zoom also, a Meet also within this, where the live classes are happening. So you need not to rely. So Urban Pro is like, it is solving 2 of the problem. Somebody took a name of Urban Pro also. So Urban Pro is doesn't have a proprietary learning classroom system. We have it like a like a Byju's and Vedantu. Plus, that's a convenient way of booking a very 20-minute session. Suppose a maths class, a guy, like I was taking an example, 75% of the people doesn't take tuition. That doesn't mean they don't have a problem. They have a math exam day after tomorrow, and he want to have a connection with a math teacher like me, for example, for 2 queries only. He can do that on Grab Guidance. So that's the problem, unique problem that we are solving. I hope I answered it.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, there are actually plenty more questions that have entered the chat box, and we have shared your LinkedIn information because that was demanded by the attendees again and again. Okay. And I just hope that when they will be able to connect with you, I hope they will be able to get the answers to their questions.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm there on the Grab Guidance portal also. So anyone wanting to speak to me, I'm always available there for sure on a one-to-one interactive basis. LinkedIn is just
that would be really awesome, sir. Yeah. And frankly speaking, if the COVID situation would not have been here, we would have loved to have you at our institution. And once the situation subsides, we humbly extend the invitation. We are taking this opportunity to actually extend an invitation for your in-person conversation with our attendees at the university in the premises itself.
Sure. Anytime. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. I request Dr. Gaurav to please facilitate our speaker.
Okay, yes. Thank you so much, sir, for such a valuable session. Okay. So kindly, sir, I accept our gratitude from the Galgotias University as a token of love, a memento of honor.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation also and to spare your precious time to motivate our young minds, student and faculty member. Thank you so much, sir, once again.
My pleasure, sir. My pleasure.
Thank you so much, Himanshu, sir. Dear participants, we are now joined with our next speaker for today's session, Mr. Gautam Prakash. Welcome, sir. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today.
Very good afternoon, ma'am. Thank you so much for your invitation.
Thank you, sir. Dear participants, let me introduce our speaker for the session today. Mr. Gautam Prakash is currently working as a professor and a keynote speaker in various conferences and seminars across the country. Sir has a strong educational profile from being a Master of Engineering from Tyagaraja, sorry, I'm unable to pronounce it correctly, I guess. So from the PCE College in Madurai. He is a skilled person in networking, network administration, web applications, network security, and wireless networking. Sir is currently also a founder and director of V7 Lancers Technopark Private Limited. Sir is currently also heading the operations head or department of the company also. We are delighted to have you, sir, with us today, and it would have been an honor to have you in person, but the COVID is not permitting us to do so. And I humbly request you, sir, to please address our audience.
Yeah, thanks for the nice introduction, ma'am. Can I take the privilege of sharing my screen?
Yes, sir, you can share, sir.
Yes, sir, you can share your screen, sir.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you. I hope my screen is visible. Can I start?
Yes, sir, your screen is clearly visible to
Yeah.
all of us.
Yeah, fine. So, very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a great time to meet the future entrepreneurs of this nation. Yeah, I would like to appreciate the efforts of the organizing team, especially to arrange such a most inspiring topic to address. And it is also my sincere gratitude to the team for inviting me as a guest speaker here today. So, as you all know, my name is Gautam J. Prakash. I am the Director and Operations Head of V7 Lancers Technopark Private Limited, an IT firm in Tamil Nadu. It's been a great honor to address this room as an emerging entrepreneur, and I hope this session could be an eye-opener for you people. So, yeah, let me get into the topic. And before to start with, let me just get to know one important thing from you people. Yeah, we have 499 participants here in this room, and I would like to throw with one important question from your side. I think your chat box is open, and you can go with the answers. Who is an entrepreneur? According to you people, who is called as an entrepreneur?
Sir, if you want, then I can allow the participant to unmute themselves.
Yes, you can also unmute. Yeah, people can unmute yourself and talk, or your chat box is always open. You can just hit your answer.
Chat box is always open, sir. But a participant now can unmute themselves also.
Yes, go ahead. Yeah, who brings up with a new idea? Yeah, fine. Sakshi, thank you for your initiating point. Fine. So one who brings up with new ideas, he's called as an entrepreneur. Any other answers from you people? Who is called as an entrepreneur? Who can you call as the one who knows to build a revenue model by solving a problem? Great answer. Solving a problem and bringing revenue to the company. Yeah, fine, great. Anyone who starts the new business by taking risk. Yeah, risk-taking persons are called as entrepreneurs. Arshad, it's really nice to see the answer. It's really interesting as well. So taking risk is
are those who
who creates job for others. My God, the chat box is like it's flooding with answers. Yeah, I hope I'll go with the part what I just want to convey. Sometimes people would say the one who starts his own company to earn. No, it's not the right thing. The one who starts his own business, who does not like to work for others. No, he's not an entrepreneur. The one who loves to show his ability to the world through his business. I think that's not the right thing. The one who undertakes the family business. No, 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 never, never. He is not an entrepreneur. Or the one who never sleeps, never eats properly, never have a family time to spend, and who is going to fully focus on business. He is called as an entrepreneur? No. Yeah, then who is an entrepreneur? Who is called as an entrepreneur? Yeah, let me tell you. Let me tell you. Please listen. The one who has a strong vision to implement his idea, his thoughts, and his passion, innovate something for the society, and be a good inspiration for the upcoming generation. So, but you know that he cannot do this individually. He is not a person who can do this individually. He needs a powerful team with him to pursue his thoughts, to convert his dreams into actions, and to make his vision into, say, a reality. So that is where he tends to start an organization with like-minded people to fulfill his dreams. So he's a passionate person who wants to inspire the world. So he's forming a team, he's forming a like-minded team and doing whatever he wants through a company. So he's not a dreamer, he's a doer. He's not a boss, he's a leader. He's not a duplicator, he's an innovator. Overall, yeah, he's an inspiration for you people. So he is an entrepreneur. See, this is not just a word. Entrepreneur is not just a word. It involves, you can call it as a lifetime practice. It is a lifetime learning, and it's the ability to undertake any challenge. See, entrepreneurs, they are the people who always sees the problem as challenges. They don't use the word problem. They usually see any problem as challenges. It involves a great competency, say, to handle the problems, and it needs a club of skills, the accumulative skills to pursue and succeed what has been planned. Right? So, yeah, I would never say entrepreneurship is tough. Do you people really think this kind of job or entrepreneurship is tough? No. But it is never called as tough. It's not at all tough, but it is just challenging part. But it's really challenge. It's a challenge which has to be faced with guts. You need a real guts to face it. The one who enjoys the journey of entrepreneurship can bring the best out of his success. He can bring any best out of his success, but you have to enjoy the journey of entrepreneurship. You have to face every single challenge with guts. You have to have the guts to break any challenge put in front of you. So, and usually people tend to say, I have heard many of the people, they tend to say, when you become an entrepreneur, you have to undergo a lot of stress. You have to have a life which is completely stressful. Yeah, some people usually say this. I've heard it many times. So I've never, I don't know whether you have heard this sentence, but I usually hear this sentence from my relatives, from my family, from my friends, my well-wishers. Everyone used to say this. When you become an entrepreneur, you have to face a stressful life. Yeah, I have one question for them. I just have only one question for them. When we were into our schools, when we were into our colleges or schools, our parents have struggled a lot. You know, maximum of you people are from, say, middle class family, or some people they still work daily to pursue whatever they want in the daily life. So maximum of your parents have say struggled to pay our school fees or college fees. Even they struggle to manage the family expenses, to pay the house rent, and you might have not even know they would have faced some abusing words from the house owners to pay rent. So they have to pay EMIs, they have to pay back the gold loans. Maximum of your people's gold will be in the bank, and you have to repay it to bring it back to your home, right? So they have such problems, and that might be some sudden medical expenses as well. So I know few people of my friends' family, they could not even feed their hungry stomach more than twice in a day. They could not even eat properly more than twice in a day. But see the situation here, but they are never even uttered a word stress in front of their children. They are the real people who are facing the challenges, but they have never even uttered the word stress in front of their children. Is there anything more than that? What we are going to face as an entrepreneur? No, not at all. When you see the problems as challenges in front of you, you would enjoy breaking the challenges and you won't feel the stress. So my dear children, please underline the word, and please keep it in your mind. When you are considering you as an entrepreneur, never see the word or never ever utter the word stress or problem. It's all about challenges. And it's all about how we are going to break the challenges, right? So it's very simple. Ignore the word stress and start exploring and break the challenges. Yeah. This is what I have asked you, who's an entrepreneur, and he's a real behind whatever. See, it's not just a simple thing. It's state of say it involves lifelong learning. It's something where you have to acquire knowledge. It needs complete training. You have to have the competency of undertaking the problems, and you have to have accumulative skills to do anything. So all these completely together is called as an entrepreneurship, right? So I have to open up three important parameters, three important things that could help you to become a great entrepreneur of all time, right? So I'm going to open up three important things. I'm going to open up three important parameters which you have to focus on your life to become a successful entrepreneur. So out of all, the most important thing is innovation. Innovation is the most important thing, because like every entrepreneur is successful because of his innovation. Yeah, there might be a lot of keys to get success. There might be a lot of the keys to get success, but the most important key to get success is innovation. Every single innovation today began with just a spark of idea. You people know that, right? Every innovation today is just an idea once. Every idea has been implemented, and that is called as an innovation today. So business without ideas cannot be considered as a business, right? So every business should have its unique idea. So a business without idea, you cannot call it as a business. If there was no Charles Babbage, this meeting today online is not at all possible. If there is no Graham Bell, there is no mobile devices today. If there is no Thomas Alva Edison, we would be used to have candlelight dinners, right? So the world is changing because of innovation, and that is what I would like to say. Even as students, people might have a lot of ideas in your brain. All 499 participants here, including me, would have a lot of ideas in our mind. Can you call those ideas as an innovation? No, never. You cannot call ideas as innovation. Ideas are called innovations only when it is implemented. When you implement your idea, only then you can call it as an innovation. Otherwise, it is just an idea. So idea plus implementation is called as an innovation. You can't call it as an innovation until it is implemented. So either it be a success or say failure. Implement whatever we think or whatever ideas we have is very important, right? So end of the day, we have only two results. We have just two results. Whenever you implement something, whenever you implement your ideas, or whenever you implement your thoughts, we just have two important results. We just have two results. Either you win or you. Either you win or you. Come on. When you implement something, either you win it or please don't call it as a failure. So whenever you implement something, either you win or you learn. Please don't say that you are failed. There is nothing called as failure in implementation. Every implementation will give you two results. Either you win or you learn. There is nothing called as failure, people. So end of the day, we have only two results. You win or lose. And when you implement 10 different ideas, say you for example, any one of you are going to implement 10 different ideas and could not get the results what you want or what you expected, but you have found out something. You have found out something. Yes, you have found out that those 10 ideas won't work. You have found out that. Even that is a learning. Isn't it a great learning? You have found out that these 10 ideas won't work. You will not use those 10 ideas again in your life. That is a great learning which you have achieved. So whenever you implement, you either win or you learn something. You won't get this learning even if you go and sit in a library for the next 1 year. So please go and sit in a library for 1 year. You won't get this learning. But this learning is possible only when you implement these things. So yeah, failure. Yeah, coming to the failure part, failure is the best tuition master that could give you the best learning ever. So don't worry about your failures. Don't get afraid of your failures. Don't hesitate to face failures. So as I said, failures are the best tuition masters who can give you the best learning ever, right? No professor in this room or no professor in this country or no academician in this world can give you a best learning what a failure can give you, what a failure can teach you. So don't afraid of failures. Stay happy and stay cool when you get failed, because you have been learned something which no one is going to get you, right? Yeah, so the point is, so never ever hesitate to implement whatever you think. If it's a failure, stay cool, stay calm. Let us not worry about the people who is going to call you as a failure. Don't worry about the people who is going to call you as a failure. They are just the spectators. They are just the audience. They are not your life. They're not the people who is going to motivate you. So they are just the spectators. They usually, what they do is they usually love to pass comments on others' life. So they are the people who passes comments. They just pass comments. That's their only job. They don't have any other job. So don't ever worry about the people who are going to pass comments on you. Your reply for them is just your success. Your only reply should be your success. Kill them with your smile and bury them with your success, right? So I just have one question for you people in this room. Your chat box is open again. Yes, I'm opening your chat box. I'm waiting for your answer. Yes, your chat box is open. Comment your answers. What do you think the most important thing to start a business or to become an entrepreneur? What is the most important thing to start a business? Idea. Okay, determination and to be persistent on it. Logic and perception, innovation, courage, risk, to be consistent. Wow, a group of active participants. I've never seen such active participation in any room which is more than 400 plus. Your people are awesome, mind blowing. Yeah, thank you, great. I'd like to go with the answer. No answers are wrong. No, nothing of your answers are wrong. But everything has its own perception. According to me, the most important thing to start a new business is very simple. I'll give you an example of these real-time people. They are all emerging entrepreneurs today. All these people, they belong to India and they are all emerging entrepreneurs today. And but I could say a lot of entrepreneurs today have never invested money for their business. Maximum people would think that to start a business or to become an entrepreneur, they need money. They need a principal amount or capital amount to be invested. No, that is not the case here. Instead, they have invested just two things in their life: time and brain. They have invested their time to work. They are dedicated towards their time. They are accountable for that what they are going to do. And the second thing is they have invested their brain. They have invested their ideas. Whatever you said in the chat box is exactly right. Ideas, brain, and time. These are the things which can make you a successful entrepreneur, because this is the most expensive investment ever. Even if you invest 1 crore of your business, that is not going to be expensive. But investing your time and brain is highly expensive. If this is your investment, my dear children, if this is your investment, you are in the right process. You are in the right process. And when you are right in the process, you don't want to worry about the result, because you're already in the process. You're already in the track. So don't worry about the results and just keep pressing the accelerator, moving forward and trying to accomplish whatever you want. Yeah, fine. I would like to quote some well-known case studies as an example. So I have some case studies to say how people are bringing the business best out of their control, and how they are giving some innovative ideas to their business, right? So you might not be well aware about this personality, Mr. K.R. Nagarajan. He's a well-known personality in Tamil Nadu, in my state here. He's a well-known personality and a true living example. He's a living example that a small innovation can bring great results. I hope most of you people know dhotis. You know dhotis, right? We call it as vesties in Tamil. And but 90s kids and kids in 2000 era will not prefer it because they do not feel comfortable wearing it. That's the only problem we have. Even I love to wear it, but could not feel comfortable. This is the time where the dhotis were introduced with Velcro, where we can easily stick it around our waist. We can easily stick it. There is no problem in wearing it. We will be very comfortable because we are just going to stick it, right? So there is no increase in the production cost. There is no increase in production time. There is no much manual effort, but the customer acquisition went 25 lakhs from 5 lakhs in just 3 months. See, a small innovation in their business, a small innovation in their production is bringing out a big result in their customer acquisition, which is the most important thing in a business. That is where innovation is going to stand in your business. See, we have a very good innovation process called as reverse osmosis, right? If there is no innovation process like reverse osmosis, damn sure. And to be honest, I don't have water in my home today. I'm in a remote place where there is no water, there is no underground water. And I'm drinking water only because there is a great innovation process called as reverse osmosis. So innovation is going to play a great role in your life, a great role as an entrepreneur's life, right? So the customer acquisition, as I told you, it went to 25 lakhs from 5 lakhs in just 3 months, right? And I'll go with the next living example. Yeah, you might have heard about Mr. Sri Harsha. He's an entrepreneur, a young generation entrepreneur who founded a firm called as Bundle, B-U-N-D-L, Bundle. This is his first company, a logistics-based company who can carry the products from one place to another. It is a logistics company, right? So, but he just implemented all his ideas, whatever he had in his mind, he just implemented that. But the sad part is, but the worst part in this life or in his career is, it's an utter failure. Bundle is a big failure for him. He could not be successful in this business. Then what Sri Harsha is known for actually? Sri Harsha is an entrepreneur. He founded a company called as Bundle, which is not a successful business. And why Sri Harsha is famous now? Yeah, your chat box is open, people. Come on. Sri Harsha is an entrepreneur. He founded a company called as Bundle, but Bundle is an utter failure. But Sri Harsha is a well-known entrepreneur today. Why? How? Any guesses? I think you're on you're into thinking mode. That's great.
You can unmute yourself also to reply.
Yeah, fine. So I'll go with the answer. It's because he is well known today in India. He is well known to the nation because of his new firm. He has started one more firm, and that is called as Swiggy. He's the founder of Swiggy. He has applied all his learnings from his first failure and designed a new business model which almost acquired everyone's mobile phone today. I'm sure maximum of you people would have used it at least once in your lifetime. So Swiggy is occupying your mobile memory at least once in your lifetime. And that is what Sri Harsha is known for. See, exactly, Bundle is a failure. And whatever learning he has got in that particular business, he has applied all that strategies and theories in Swiggy. And now Swiggy is one of the most important marketplace for hotels. He has no hotel. See, the most important thing is Sri Harsha, he has no hotel or he has no restaurant on his own, but every single restaurant is under his control today. Yes, he founded Swiggy. A kind of innovation is aggregating the hotels and delivering the foods to the customers from their favorite restaurant. That is the most important thing here. They're giving the food from their favorite restaurant, and that's what he did. And now Swiggy is one of the most dominating food delivery firms in India. Yeah. Now let's take an interesting case study of these two people. Mr. Bhavish Agarwal and Mr. Ankit Bhati. You know who these two people are?
Owner of Ola.
I think Ruby has given me the right answer. He's the founder of Swiggy. Has given the right answer. Yes, I'll go with this point now. Bhavish Agarwal and Ankit Bhati. Can you please guess who these two people are?
Founders of Ola.
Yes, exactly. Great. Oh, fine. Now let's take this case study. Mr. Bhavish Agarwal and Mr. Ankit Bhati. They are now the most hot-spoken personalities because of their new innovative solution. The interesting part is that this was their final year project, college final year project, got funded, and now they almost control all the taxis in the nation. Ola, the new trend of transporting service. Ola is the company which was founded by these two people, and the most interesting part is that is their final year project that was funded, and that was now the most dominating transport services in the nation. So see, every single success what we see today is just a spark of idea and implementation. So it's time for us to implement. It's time for us to implement whatever we think to be something that can give a solution for the human welfare. So please don't just have idea within yourself. Start implementing your ideas, do some innovations, and that is what an important parameter of entrepreneur, right? So never ever hesitate to whatever ideas you have to implement. Be an innovator. It's the right time to innovate. So fortunately, we are all enjoying all the innovations of our ancestors. Whatever innovations given by our ancestors, we are enjoying it. Now it's our turn. Now it's our turn to innovate some new ideas and let the future generation enjoy it. So I have a famous proverb I have seen. Today's tradition is once an innovation, and today's innovation will be tomorrow's tradition. Be an innovator. This is the only hashtag you have to keep in your mind if you want to become an entrepreneur. The main important parameter of an entrepreneur, that is, he should be an innovator. Only innovators can be very successful, right? So let us be an innovator and keep inspiring the new entrepreneurs. Innovation is the primary thing for a successful, what you call is entrepreneurship, right? So let me step into the next big thing, which you could help you to be more successful. Hope you know the differences between the below devices. I'll go one by one. Yeah, this is the basic model Nokia, which was released 35 years ago, 3 decades back. This was Nokia. And yeah, we had advanced model of devices where we had 2G internet, we had MMS facilities, we had bulk SMS, and we had some interesting games to play. So this is the next device which has been introduced. And the evolution of mobile was, we had our Android devices, we had iOS devices, we had 3G and 4G internet, we had a lot of communication channels, we had social media integrations here, and we had our smart devices. The mobile phone had become smart. And now we are into an era where we have some folded devices. We have some foldable phones. So these are the 4 different devices. A basic model, which has been introduced 25 to 30 years back. And the next model where we started enjoying the features of mobile devices and 2G internet. And next came into the Android devices with 4G internet, and where we can access anything, anywhere, anytime. And even a single mobile device, it replaced camera, it replaced radio, it replaced CDs, USB, and even sometimes laptops has been replaced by these devices. And now finally we have a specially designed foldable mobile phones. My question is anyone in this room, do you still use the first model of mobile phones now? Yes or no? Your chat box is open. Are you still using the first device of mobile phone? The first version of your mobile phones? No. No. Is anyone yes here I could see? No, no. Wow. Flooding answers. No. Yeah. 100. Yeah, yes, I could see one yes. Okay. Interesting, man. Great. Okay. At least the second model of mobile phones we use now. Yeah, very few people. No, no, yes, yes. Yeah, we have some club dancers. Great. Fine. Maybe the third model. Wow. Yes, 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 yes. Great, great, great. Yes, maximum of few people. Yeah. At the fourth model, yeah, if it is affordable, I'll go with your answer. If it is affordable, you'll be going with the fourth model. But maximum of you people have updated your mobile device to a third model where you want to update yourself, right? Fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. So every one of you would like to go with the advanced model to enjoy the recent features of the mobile, what we have today, right? That's not bad. That's not bad. Good to see the enthusiasm, actually. That's really great. But hold on for a minute. I could see few people who have started their career in yeah, you call it C programming, right? Okay, they have started their career in C programming, and we had PHP technology later. Web development expense might have known this, right? And yeah, we had something called as Laravel, the advanced framework of PHP. And now we are into a new tech stack called as Mean Stack, and it still goes on. The list goes on like that. We have new technologies is developing every single day as open source software. But the student is still in C programming. He has not updated. He has no idea about updating his skills, getting to know the new technological stacks and be in the race. He has no idea about to be in the race. So that is the difference what we are in the competition for. So I could remember a company in 2000s, one decade back, say, or 20 years back. I know a company, I could remember a company. I don't want to mention the name here. It is one of the finest companies in South Tamil Nadu with a very decent client base, and almost 125 employees are with them. Believe it or not, now the company is no more. They were fully into .NET for developing desktop applications. They were completely working on a technology called as .NET. When the technology like cloud and web applications started bringing new revolution, obviously people they want their applications to be cloud based and not a desktop app. So the company was forced to move from .NET to some new technological stack where they can survive. People started developing softwares with PHP and Java. .NET has nothing to do with that. It has no role in the play. The company had no proper vision for updating with new set of employees or just train the existing employees with the new stack. They had no proper vision and they had no proper training. Slowly, the client base was collapsed. The client base was completely collapsed and their revenue dropped down. Their revenue completely dropped down. And there is no new projects, there is no new clients, there is no revenue, no profit. And at last, the company was surrendered as per Indian incorporation law, whatever you call it as, right? So this is a clear example. We need shows that we need to be updated, and that requires a hardcore lifelong learning skills. This is the second point which I have to emphasize: lifelong learning. So I said that I will open up three important things to become a successful entrepreneur. The first thing is innovation, and the second most important thing is lifelong learning. Never ever be outdated. You are tested every single day. All people in this room, 453 participants, all you people are tested every single day. Your competitors are trying to knock you out. They are trying to knock you out of the competition every single minute. So it's your responsibility to be in the competition always. So have this lifelong learning passion in your life, right? It's about like say our passion towards learning will always keep you in the competition. You'll always be in the competition if you are in the learning process. Say when you are in the right learning process, you'll feel young, even if you are 80 years old. But when you stop learning, you'll feel very old at even at the age of 20. Okay. Hope you know every question in the world has an answer, right? Every question in the world has an answer. But most of the people won't see the suspense in the answer. I repeat again, every question in the world has an answer. Yes, I accept, I agree, honestly. But every answer has a suspense inside. We people don't tend to see that, right? Yes, as I said to you, every question has an answer, and every answer has a secret question inside. Find the question within the answer and start searching for the new answer. Start searching for the next answer. The process goes on. So I could give you an interesting example as I have shown you in the slide. So hope you people know we have IP address for internet facilities, right? We have IP address, and there are two versions. When I was doing my engineering in my college, my professor asked us, what are the two versions of IP address, right? And everyone shouted in the room, IPv4 and IPv6. Yeah, these are the two answers which every single student gave. And it was over. The professor appreciated everyone, and the topic is over, and went into the new topic, right? Okay, fine. But the right answer has been given to the question. Yes, it is over. But everyone was waiting for the next question. But I could not. Because I could see some interesting suspense in the answer. I was thinking about it. So can you please find what the suspense is? Can you say what is the suspense is? Your chat box is open. See, the two versions of IP addresses, IPv4 and IPv6. The question has been given the right answer and it is over. But I could see one suspense here, one interesting suspense here. Exactly, Kabir. Kabir, thanks for your answer. The suspense is what happened to IPv5. Exactly. Srishti, Bhavana, yeah, everyone has given the right answer. What happened to IPv5? That is the suspense here. I started looking for the answer. 20 books, 18 websites, 23 YouTube videos, and many more. And finally, I could find the answer, right? But during the search of the answer, I came to understand a lot about network technology, and which I have never heard before. Even I have attended more than 125 lectures during my college days. But I have found something new when I started looking for the answer, right? So the deep investigation process which I made to find the answer helped me to understand new things, and there started my learning habit. So that is where I started learning new things happily, right? So I found a new way how to learn, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Finding the answer for the question, finding the hidden secret in the answer, and searching for the next answer. The process goes on like that. So obviously, the learning is not going to stop. When you start finding the suspense, the learning is not going to stop. It will keep on insisting you to explore new things every single day. And now I'm here in front of you as an entrepreneur. This is what I have did. This is how I have learned. This is what the learning process I have followed. So the same learning practice will give you a great learning exposure, a lifelong learning practice, which is the most important parameter to become an entrepreneur. So keep in your mind that you have to be updated, never get outdated. Lifelong learning is the most important skill, right? So lifelong learning is actually the core value of any successful personality in the world today, in the galaxy today. Just pinpoint any one example today, any one successful entrepreneur. One of their important parameter would be lifelong learning. There is no second thought in it, right? Okay, and I'll go with the last parameter. What do you think will be the last parameter? See, again, your chat box is open. No answer is going to be wrong. No answer is going to be wrong. Just your perception. I've given you two important parameters to be successful entrepreneur. One is innovation, and the second one is lifelong learning. And what could be the third important parameter according to my perception is, yeah, consistency. Great. Meditation. Oh my God, nice. Okay. Any answers? Okay. I for detail, persistence, potential. Okay, it goes on. Okay, I'll go with the process. It's leadership. Again, as I said to you, there is no wrong answers in the room. The answers are according to your perception, and according to my perception, the most important skill is the leadership. Yeah. I would like to have a small activity within you people. Can I have any one person who can unmute here and just introduce yourself? Come on, anyone, you can unmute and introduce yourself for just 2 minutes.
Dear participants, for the activity, kindly I request you to please raise your hand so that we can unmute you from our end.
Yeah, wow. I could see a lot of hands in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
participants, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah. Swapnika, please unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Good afternoon, sorry.
Yes, go ahead, Swapnika, go ahead.
So myself, Swapnika Singh, and I belongs to Lucknow, which is also known as the city of Nawabs. And I have completed my 10+2 from Ryan International School, and I have completed my graduation from Isabella Thoburn College, Lucknow. And right now I'm pursuing MBA from Galgotias University. And other than this, I am enthusiastic, and my strengths are that I am good. I have a good communication skills, and other than this, that's it.
That's fine. Thank you, Swapnika, for initiating something, because yeah, every single activity should have an initiator. When there is an initiator, then there is no problem for the organizer. You made my job very simple. Thank you, Swapnika, for your initiating point. And yeah, why don't we go with Shalini Ashwiti for the next presentation? Come on, Shalini, you can unmute and give your introduction for 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. So this is Shalini Avasti, and I'm also from Lucknow, and I have completed my bachelor's in education. I've also worked with an edutech company, which is QMath. Currently, I'm pursuing MBA from Galgotias. I love cooking, and I'm very fond of Chinese food. I also write creating blogs, and I'm also into editing and writing content. Thank you, everyone.
Great. Thank you so much, Shalini. And we'll give chance to Mr. Jennifer Das.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
My name is Jennifer Das, and my hometown is Lucknow, and currently I'm residing in Ghaziabad. I have a couple of hobbies, such as reading books, also sports and singing, dancing. So so basically it's like I can do, I can participate in everything. So I'm fond of doing and creating and basically evolving such things which I'm fond of. And thirdly, so I did my graduation from Galgotias University. So it was English honors, and currently I'm pursuing B.Ed from Galgotias University. And my schooling was from St. Mary's Convent School, Ghaziabad, and higher education from the Ingram Institute English School, ICSE. So now I'm very fond of facing the challenges. So basically I faced a lot of challenges, and currently there were so much of barriers in life, and I really like to face them and learn from those barriers. Also, that's all, sir.
Great, great, Jennifer. It's nice to hear your introduction, and I'm happy that you're fond of challenges.
Thank
Yes,
you, sir.
and the last chance can be given to Mr. Harish Agarwal.
Thank you so much, sir. Good afternoon, sir. I am Harshil Agrawal. Currently, I am pursuing BBA in Aviation Management. Currently, I am in second year, and I want to build my own airline company as I am become a great entrepreneur. Entrepreneur.
Great,
And
great,
my
Harish.
actually, sir, it's Harshil.
Harshil, sorry, Harshil, fine. Fine, Harshil, thanks for your introduction. And yeah, let me get into the activity part. We had 4 introductions, right? We had Swapnika, we had Shalini, we had Jennifer, and finally we had Mr. Harshil. So we had 4 introductions. And let me consider all these people as a team. So Shalini, Swapnika, Harshil, and Jennifer, you are a team now, right? And I want you people to select one leader among your team. Who can be a leader? You can either select or you can be a volunteer. If you are interested to be a leader of your team, just unmute yourself and say that, yes, I'm ready to be a leader.
I can be a leader, sir.
Yes, sir.
Shalini, sir.
Yes, we can be a leader, sir.
can be a
Sorry,
leader,
just give me your name and then please tell me that you can be a leader.
Sir,
Shalini
Jennifer.
decides, sir. Shalini.
Yeah, see, there is a competition to be a leader. This is really a healthy competition. That's what I'm expecting from you people. It's really nice.
It's okay, sir. We can vote and we can decide which one will be the leader.
Yeah, okay. So as per your recommendation, Shalini, I'll go with Jennifer as leader. Jennifer, can you please unmute?
Yes, sir.
Jennifer, now we are going to have a task, which is going to be the most toughest task in your life, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know Mr. Harshil, Swapnika, and Shalini before?
No, sir.
No. Do you want to add any one of your friends or any one of your 1 or 2 of your friends to this team now?
Yes, sir. If they are having the capability, I'll surely add them to the group.
Come again, sorry, pardon.
Sir, now you are asking the names or you are just saying?
Yeah, I'm considering you as a leader of this group, and you have 3 people in your team. I'm giving you the permission, or I'm giving you the privilege to add your friends to the group. If you want any of your friends to be added to your team, you can add them. That's the permission which has been given to you now. Because
Okay,
you are
sir.
going to face a task. You're going to just face a task. So you want your friends to be in the team, right?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So
Basically, sir.
just point out your friend who can be in your team. Who is in this room?
So Ankita, if she's here.
Ankita, are you there?
Ankita Ravi Raj Kamal.
Yeah, let me go with Ankita. Ankita, you can please unmute you, and if you're okay with participating in the task, just say, yes, I'm interested, and join the team. Ankita, friend of Jennifer, are you there?
So maybe she's not here.
Sorry, Jennifer, she's not here. I'll go with the next participant, next friend of yours.
So I'll take the name of Rishita Sharma from Department of SOE.
Okay, Department of SOE, Mr. Sharma. Are you there?
Rishita Sharma, please unmute.
Sharma, please unmute. Are you there? Support your friend Jennifer. She's looking for some good people to join their team. Join your team, right?
I'm here, Jennifer.
Okay, Ravi's there.
Yeah, Sandesh Kumar is ready, I think.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Yes,
Kamal.
Ravi Raj Kamal is there, sir.
Okay, yeah, Ravi Rajkamal is here. Okay, so we have one more extra participant in this room. Oh, sorry, in this team. And the thing is, Jennifer, I'm going to give you one of the toughest tasks which you have ever faced in life. You're going to face the toughest task. You're going to do it. Your team is going to do it. Exactly. To point out exactly, your team is going to accomplish the task. Okay. But I'm not going to give you what task it is now. I'm not going to explain the task now. Before that, I want you to select any one person from your team who can completely understand the task and accomplish the task in the next 2 days. I'll give you 2 days to accomplish it. I'll give you 2 days to work on the task and give me the result. But I want only one person from the team to be selected. It is going to be the toughest task in your life. Give me a good participant from your team or good person from your team who can take the task with guts. Come on.
So I'll go with Ravi Raj Kamal.
You'll go with Ravi Raj Kamal. Can you tell me why you have selected Ravi Raj Kamal instead of like other participants? Is there any particular reason?
Actually, I'm sorry. Actually, I know personally Ravi Raj, and he's very laborious also. And the rest of the team leaders, I'm not personally aware of them. That's why the person whom I know, and I know his capability, he is laborious and can complete the task. So that's why I'm taking the name.
Okay, nice to hear. But I just want to tell you one more thing, and then you can say that whether you're going to stick with your decision or you're going to change, right?
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. Consider you people, those 5 in your team are working in a company. You're working in an organization as employees, and now this task has been given to you. If Ravi Raj Kamal is not able to complete the task on time or complete the task with whatever outcomes I'm expecting, he will be fired off. He'll be sacked from the company, right? That is the point here. This is the only condition or only say the protocol which I'm going to give you to take this task. Are you still sticking with your decision, or you just want to change your decision? Still Ravi Rajkumar is the competitor or the attendant or the person who is going to take the task, or you have any dilemma in your decision now?
So basically, you are saying that if Ravi Raj failed to perform that particular task, then I'll be just hiring him, just firing him off, or just giving the opportunity to the another person.
Come again. I could not get what you're exactly conveying. Come again, please.
Sir, you said that if the Ravi Raj Kamal is not able to perform that particular task, so I have to fire him and give the opportunity to another person.
No. If Ravi Raj Kamal is not able to complete the task, he will be fired off from the company where he cannot be in the job anymore. He's completely fired off. He should resign his job and he should go anywhere else. So this is the point.
No, sir. Sir, see, we humans are not perfect in each and everything. So mistakes are, I think, they're a part of life. And if he'll be not able to perform that particular task, I'll be first guiding him and will give him the second chance. I will not fire him off from the job.
Great.
I'll give him one more chance.
Okay. No, Jennifer, please understand the task very well. Firing option is not in your hand. It is purely depends upon the management. It is not in your hand, right? So the condition is you have to accomplish the task with one member in your team, any one member in your team. And if you can't, that particular member will be sacked. That is the only thing we can do. Is that clear now?
Yes, sir. So basically, I'll be doing the task if that person won't be able to perform that task. So the only option will be left for me is to perform myself.
Okay. So the thing is here, when we have a task in our mind, when we have a particular task in our mind, and I've said you 2 things. The first thing is the task is going to be the toughest task in your life. The second thing is, if you are not able to complete the task, that particular person who is appointed by you will be sacked off from the organization. And this is where your leadership role plays. This is where your responsibility plays. So as a leader, leading position member in your team, you should be ready to take up the task yourself, because you are the person who you want to protect your team. You are the person who want to take the responsibility of coming in front of your team and take whatever the task it is. And if it is not done, you should be the first person who should be suffered. It is not your team. So that is the main quality of a leader should possess. And that is where the leader's chance in front. Okay. So I'm not going to give you any task. This is the task. That's it off now, right? I'll go into the presentation again. So a leader should stand in front of anyone. A leader should present himself in front of the team, and he should be the first person who should take any blame or any responsibility coming into the team. So here we go with the topic called as leadership. I'll share my screen again. Give me a minute.
Okay, Sandesh, if you have any query, you can ask. Sandesh.
So what happened? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sandesh is want to ask something, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead, Mr. Sandesh. Yeah, fine. I think he don't want to ask anything now. And yeah, let's go with the leadership part. So your and the last parameter, what I said is to become a successful entrepreneur, it is your leadership. You might have heard a proverb. I don't know. You might have heard it. So a group of lion headed by a sheep cannot win the battle, even if it is a group of lion. When it is headed by a sheep, they cannot win the battle. But a group of sheep, when headed by a lion, can win any battle very easily. So that is the importance of leadership any team could have, right? So a leader is someone like, who can turn the vision into reality. He can convert the dreams into actions and break the challenges with his team and his attitude, right? So it's quite easy to be a good leader. It's quite easy to be a good leader when you have certain practices followed regularly, right? So the first thing is be self-motivated always. Be always self-motivated. Like never expect someone to be your motivator. Never depend on anyone to motivate you. So you should be self-motivated and never depend on others to initiate a work. So the one who depends on others to initiate something will never get it done in his lifetime. So be interdependent. So be independent. Never depend on others and have a self-motivated mindset. So having such a strong mindset to accomplish things individually will help you to become a good leader. And obviously, a good leader can become a good entrepreneur, right? So the second point is have a goal to achieve. So see, just think a person who's standing in a football ground and he's having a ball and we have 22 players in the ground. I hope there are 11 players in a team and we have 22 players in a ground and one football player, he's having the ball. And consider he's having a ball and with no goal post. There is no goal post in the ground. What will he do for the next 90 minutes with the ball? He's having the ball, but there is no goal post. What is going to do for the next 90 minutes? Will he have the enthusiasm to achieve something? Will he have that fire to do something? No. Will he run towards what he wants? No. There is no any motivational factor where he can run towards. A work without a goal will not have a motivating factor and the process will not be much effective, right? So when you have a goal, when you have a strong mindset to achieve something, either it can be a short-term goal or a long-term goal, whatever it is. So when you have a goal and you have a strong desire to achieve it, run for it, chase it, and you can finally get it, right? So feel the taste of success, then you will never miss it in your life. So until that, you will have that hesitation to participate. But when you start participating and when you start running towards it, when you start chasing it, and when you get it, and finally, when you taste the success, you will never leave it. When we'll never leave without achieving the goals. So that is more important to be a leader. Have a goal, drive yourself to achieve the goal, and also drive your team to achieve the goal. It's not that a leader can drive himself alone. So a person who is going to drive himself alone, who is going to self-motivate himself alone, cannot achieve his passion or cannot accomplish what he has to do, cannot pursue his dreams. He has to motivate himself and also along with the team so that he can achieve what he wants, right? And the third more important point is emphasize more on actions than words. Mere talking is very easy. Talking is very easy. Doing it is really hard. And doing it successfully is really, really hard. So emphasize on actions than words. Implement whatever you wish to do. So I have pointed out already, whatever you're going to implement, there are only two results. Either you're going to win it or you're going to learn something out of it. That's all. There is nothing called as failure in your life. There is nothing called as losing. There is nothing to worry about the people who is going to comment on your life, because I've already said that those people, they don't have any other job other than commenting on your life. So don't worry about such audience. Don't worry about such spectators. Yeah, and your only goal, your only reply to them is your success. So emphasize more on actions rather than giving your words, right? And the most important thing is be a good communicator. The next point to become a good leader is be a good communicator. Whatever whatever things you have to communicate, you want to be a good communicator here. Effective communication is the key role of a leader. That is the key role. So be clear about what you want to convey, what you want to convey to your team, what you want to convey to your employees, whatever it is. Your words and your way of conveying it should give a clear picture about the context. So there should not be any mind map. There should not be any document to be submitted. All things should be done only with your words, only with the way in which you're going to convey it. And most importantly, communication should be persona based. It should be empathy based. Your words or your actions or your sentence, your vocabulary, it means that the way you speak, the words you use should purely depend upon the audience. Never quote something which cannot be understood by a group of people. If you are addressing to a group of people in first standard of school or second standard of school, don't quote the example of Elon Musk. They cannot understand it, right? So your words and your context should purely depend upon the audience, right? And your words and emotions should reflect your thoughts. Your thoughts or your actions, your thoughts should be reflected by your words, so that any team, any kind of audience can easily understand it and they can easily keep on the track, right? And the last and most important thing to be a leader is never hesitate, just participate. Whatever chance you get, whatever forum you get, never hesitate to participate, right? Just participate. No one is going to give you a chance every single day. Say, when I gave chance to introduce yourself, I got 4 to 5 hands initially. Say Shalini and yeah, Jennifer, Harshal. They were eager to speak, but are you sure you're going to get every single chance in every single meeting you're going to participate? No, you might not get this chance again in your lifetime even. So whenever you're going to get a chance, get it done. Get it done in your life, so that you can like enroll yourself in some activity, so that you're going to practice your regular skills. It's your role, it's your responsibility to take up the chances whenever you get it, like what you people did today, right? If you're not going to take the chances, if you're going to just be a spectator, if you're just going to become an audience, one fine day, all your chances would have faded up. All your chances would have ended up and you will be out of competition. So one day you won't get any chance. All your chances have lost. All your chances have missed, and you will be out of the competition. And you can just be a spectator in rest of your life. I don't want you participants, all 430 of you participants, to be in such a place where you're going to be out of the competition. I want every single participant to be in the competition, so that you don't want to hesitate. Please don't hesitate to participate in whatever chance you're going to get. So just participate, even if it is a lemon and spoon race, right? Let people laugh if you fail. Just think that they don't have any other better job. Let them laugh. Let them laugh on your actions, but you don't worry about it. That's why they are laughing, because they don't have any other job. That's why they are laughing at you. Keep moving and be on track always, right? Leadership is not just a role. leadership is a role model, right? So keep inspiring people as a great leader. Entrepreneurs are the biggest responsible people in the society today. They are just one step ahead above all the people. So entrepreneurs have a very big responsibility in the society, and the world is believing that entrepreneurs can make a better tomorrow. So it's again your responsibility, because you are people who are going to become the next entrepreneur. You are the people who are going to become the next business leaders, and you are the people who is going to change the world. The world is looking forward for great entrepreneurs like you, all the participants here. So keep inspiring people as a great leader. Becoming an entrepreneur is very easy. Please note that becoming an entrepreneur is very easy, but being an entrepreneur and lifetime entrepreneur, surviving in this global competition is really challenging indeed, right? So you can easily become an entrepreneur. That is not at all a problem here. Every single one of you can easily become an entrepreneur. Just in a way, innovation and implementation you can call yourself as an entrepreneur. But see to that, surviving in this global competition, surviving in this world as an entrepreneur is really tough. You cannot survive without your lifelong learning skills, your leadership skills, and your innovative skills. Without these skills, you cannot survive as an entrepreneur, and you cannot be in the competition lifelong. So my best wishes for all the great minds in this room, and thank you for the patience and the participation for last 1.5 hours. And I know how hard it is to sit in my lecture for 90 minutes. And you people really did it. When you can do this, when you can sit in my lecture for 90 minutes, you can also do other miracles like what you did today, right? So thanks for the great opportunity given to me for addressing this great crowd here. It has been really a nice time with all of you participants here. Your participation is really awesome. That's the most inspiring thing today. That is not my presentation or whatever the organizing team has done. It's really the participation from your side is really awesome. It's really inspiring. I could not see full of energetic room other than this in my lifetime. I think so, I suppose. I have been to a lot of conferences. I have been to a lot of seminars, but I have never seen such an active participant group as you did today. So thanks for that. Thanks for making me very comfortable during this session. And the motto of thanking the organizing team for the great opportunity. It's my honor to be a part of this workshop. Thank you once again. Let's rock the world. Jai Hind. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for addressing our participants and making this lecture so enthusiastically energetic. Along with that, engaging our participants into the direct conversation with you. And as you have correctly pointed out, sir, yes, it was actually the participants who make an event a success. And by seeing the enthusiastic responses of our participants here today, I can assure you that yes, the participants present here today will actually love to be or will be highly motivated to be entrepreneurs in themselves and will be able to develop an attitude towards the same. With these kind words, I request Dr. Gaurav, if he's here in the meeting. Yes, he's here. I request Dr. Gaurav to kindly felicitate our guest today.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for accepting the invitation and such a wonderful and informative session. So please accept our gratitude of love from the Galgotias University IIC family.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the invitation. It's really been a great honor, being a part of this wonderful workshop along with you people. As I told you before, this is a great energetic team you have with you, and hope every single one of the participants here will be successful in their life. And my best wishes for the organizing team and all the participants here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. And we would hope that once the COVID subsides, we will have the opportunity to host you here in the university at the premises.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Dear
Thank you,
participants, thank you, sir.
Thanks for the great
Dear
time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Dear participants, I humbly request all of you to kindly fill in the feedback form. The feedback form link has already been shared with you. We are once again sharing the same. The feedback link for both the sections is same. So I request you to please submit the link. It will be open for the next 20 to 25 minutes. After that, we will be closing the feedback link. The certificates will be generated on behalf of the feedback responses received from the feedback link. So I request you all to kindly fill in your correct entries, especially your name, so that the same will be used for the issuing of the certificate also. I would like to thank Dr. Gaurav also for his kind support during the entire session and organizing this event.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. With this, dear participants, we would like to end today's session, and we hope to see you all again in our next upcoming sessions, in person or online, however the mode will suit us. Thank you so much for your kind patience and presence and enthusiastic responses towards our guest questions. Thank you all. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.